This is an outrageous and truly insulting amendment meant to do nothing more than to score cheap political points. Let's be clear. Republicans are offering this amendment to take a stand against a socialist dictator, but they plan to vote against this bill, a bill that does nothing more than protect people from that very dictator. In other words, Republicans want to say that they support the Venezuelan people, but they are completely unwilling to do anything for them. I have just one thing to say to my Republican colleagues. Venezuelans don't need your empty words. They need action now. Let's be clear. Every American opposes dictatorial oppression, whether it comes from the far left or from the far right. In South America, we have seen dictators from the right and the left, like Augusto Pinochet in Chile or Jorge Rafael Videla in Argentina, both of whom killed and disappeared thousands of their own citizens in pursuit of right-wing agendas. During those regimes, we condemned dictators. I hope you remember those times. We did not use the tragedy of the people to score cheap political points. We all oppose dictatorship and tyranny. It is what binds us together as Americans. And coming from South America, I understand very well what happens when we see a dictator rise when it goes unchecked. But instead of honoring democratic principles, this amendment uses it as a political weapon to divide our nation. That is bad enough. But it is worse when those who offer the amendment are also unwilling to help oppressed people who find themselves in a similar situation to the countless immigrants who came to Plymouth Rock, Ellis Island, or the Freedom Tower. Let me ask this. Do you think that oppressed Venezuelans, immigrants who desperately fled to the United States to seek refuge, prefer that we vote and waste our time on an empty condemnation, or that we pass meaningful legislation to prevent the administration from deporting them back to a country suffering one of the worst humanitarian crises in this hemisphere? Trump has said that he condemns Maduro and says that he supports the Venezuelan people, but his words are as empty as this Republican motion before us. Trump's hypocritical immigration policies have left this House no other option but to act. We have the opportunity to set aside politics like 37 of my Republican colleagues did on Tuesday and do right by our Venezuelan brothers and sisters. And so I urge my colleagues to vote no on this MTR para nuestros hermanos venezolanos, TPS, ahora Venezuela libre hoy. I yield back my time.